Welcome back to episode 23 of FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode, and I think it's time to get more power. Let me go and show you what I've been doing between the episodes. Number one, I upgraded the storage system. Yeah, so this isn't done yet. It's actually going to have to go that way quite a bit more. However, I did upgrade a lot more things now. I want to briefly explain this because I know some of the commenters, some of my viewers, were having problems with this. If you have a look at the drawers, you'll see right at the top of each drawer now there's a lock symbol, and you get that using, hang on, where is it? A drawer key. It's a very simple recipe. And what this really does is just lock down the system from inserting stuff into an empty drawer. What tends to happen is you'll create something like, let's say it's this gravel, 96 in it at the moment, and you'll see the cobblestone is 6,000. Well, sooner or later, you're going to insert more than this drawer can hold. When that happens, the storage controller, the drawer controller, doesn't just say no, and then it will go to the default route, which is up there in that chest. It will then try and insert it into an open drawer, because you've said that this item is, supposed to be in the drawer system. So then it starts to fill up in other blank drawers all over the place. And sometimes also you'll get this. So let's say this is all the way out here. This is, I think this is actually a bug. One of those things will all be out here. And instead of inserting into this, where there's only like 4 stone, it'll again insert into just a random drawer. So I did not want that at all. In fact, is there anything in that? Stone. See, yeah, there, stone, 6. That's inserted into a random drawer. So what we can do with that, we can just stop the system from ever getting any bugs, lock every drawer down. That doesn't stop you taking stuff out, it just stops that being reassigned to something else. And I can put stuff in manually, just like before. In fact, those aren't locked. Why aren't those locked? That's why these are getting random stuff. Yeah, I suppose there's one way to demonstrate it. Just right-click with your key, and that will lock down that drawer. In fact, I've missed that entire row, haven't I? Yeah. Derp. Let's fix that. I don't want them being randomly inserted into some of the drawers, but yeah. And this varies depending on whether you want this behavior or not. I definitely do not. I want to be in control of what's in this thing. So, you. Now, you might have to unlock them if you unload them and try to load them into another drawer. So let's say, for example, our ender pearls are down there. That's definitely where I want them. There's 19. However, it's inserted some up here. So if I just pull stuff out, you'll see I can't pull. Basically, it says ender pearl 0. There's nothing left in there, but I can't unassign that. So if I just keep doing that, there we go. So you just have to unlock things before you actually, try to pull them all out if they're already locked. And other than that, pretty much all of these should now be locked. I will double check them later, but I think they're all done. And that should prevent problems like this from occurring. And I've got more in those drawers up there, like the nether quartz shouldn't be in there, and the apatite and other stuff like that. So yeah, I'll clean those up later. But now they're all sorted. So yeah, I've upgraded this system. Hope you like it. What do you think? I first saw it in use like this on a stream by, I think it was Slowpoke, who was doing it with a different colour wood and had a much bigger system, but was using the 2x1 drawers, and I'm using 2x2s. So these will hold up to 512 of each thing before upgrades, and then I can, of course, apply upgrades, and that just means I get a much greater density of items than a 2x1. It's a little bit harder on the eyes if you have to look for items, but generally you can address the system, by other methods than that. So, yeah, that's just one thing I've been doing, and I'll continue to do that. I'm not going to show you more on episode. I've also added a lot more in the way of automation for generally IC2 things, lots of things like plates and item casings. I've put in these for the various circuit boards and pulled the water source into them. The water's up there. And down here I've now automated all the gears. So we've got copper, iron, tin, etc. on and on. One of the commenters did say you can automate more than one set of gears in one smeltery, which is true. What you can do is you can, in these servos, you can... I could basically have a table here and another table around the backside. And as long as these two metals, iron and tin is a good example, they won't cross over. They won't smelt together into an alloy. So you could just do them in one, but yeah, this just means if I ask for 2 gears is 8 ingots, and that means there's exactly 8 space in this, and a lot of machines just require 2 gears. So I kind of like having them like this, rather as opposed to a much bigger smeltery with lots of these hanging off. Or I'll still need multiple smelteries because you can't really put copper and tin together. Yeah, you're going to have problems. And the same thing, I think, with gold and silver. I've not done silver gears yet. I've not done silver at all. We've got bronze down at the end. And on this side, I've now moved from upstairs the laser section into these more and more assembly tables. You'll notice there's no chest near them. That's because there is a regular logistics extractor pipe, logistics chassis pipe with the recipe in below them, which is compatible. That works just fine. But you do have to then put some ingredients in this, select a recipe, take the ingredients back out, and then that assembly table will be selected for that recipe. Now, just like these, this also can share things. You know, if the recipes do not interfere with each other, you could have multiple things selected. For example, I think with here I could have multiple things selected, and there's just some... yeah, I should take those back out. I don't need them anymore. Yeah, so just bear that in mind. And the advantage of having these here like this, I don't necessarily need to have a space in between them, but it's just that they will share the lasers. So, you know, like all 6 lasers will hit this first one and the second one and the third one and the fourth. Well, maybe not the fourth one, but, you know, I can just expand it that way. And there's probably an optimum way of laying these things out. But for now, pretty. And I'm going to fill in some more recipes on this side. But today's main purpose, and I've been waffling on for 6 minutes now, it's nearly 7, is down here. Can you guess what it is yet? A terrible Australian accent, I know. Yes. What do you reckon this is? If you said a tree farm or a cow farm, you'd be wrong. Completely. It's going to be a nuclear reactor. And you may have guessed that from the hardened glass if you were fairly experienced in Minecraft. Hopefully most of you are. So what I'm going to do is build up a nuclear reactor this episode, I think, or at least the machines I need to get to it, and the clothing. It's from Industrial Craft 2, and this is the laboratory blocks from Chisel. These are straightforward. They're just smooth stone around, all the way around, like a ring around nether quartz, and you'll get laboratory blocks. So this indent is the total size of this cage of hardened glass that I'm going to build up around it. Probably won't do that bit this episode because I don't need that hardened glass until I get onto the more, let's just say if I experiment with nuclear reactors, they can explode, so having some kind of barrier that's blast resistant is a good idea. This episode we're going to get into a very, very simple version, and it's just going to provide us about 100 EU per tick. And I forget what that converts to in RF. It's either 4 times or 6 times, I think. It depends on the pack. If any of you know the exact amount from EU to RF, please let me know. I would like to be able to plan that. But there's all kinds of conflicting information online about that. So I just thought, you know, if it's 4, fair enough. That's 400 RF per tick. And each of these provide 100 RF per tick. So you get the idea. I'm going to get quite a bit more power, and that'll let us do other things. But first of all, we need to get onto the machinery needed to do that. For the machinery, we're going to start with a few basic components that we probably haven't built or built too much before. Let me first get a couple of iron plates and get some iron. And let's just make that into a block. There's a couple more crafting recipes to put in the crafting system. I don't know what the actual machines themselves are mattering, but I want to that's basically what you expect. Basically connecting to the golden pipe, and I'll be able to make the shaft units itself. I also want to make iron pipes. This is going to be a bit of an exercise in fitting it in here if I can. This is extruded as well. So that's the one I want. That will work. Yeah, it's in the wrong mode. All these. Did you respond to that? Wrong mode. So it's got an iron pipe into this. That will be removed. Let's make it one of those. Yeah, that's another one. Oh well. I guess I'm going to do that this episode as well. But let's go and take a look at what we actually have to make for the nuclear reactor. First of all, we need to process the fuel. And the fuel is going to be uranium ore, which I should have enough of. So let's get started. And let's just clear this recipe. We'll need 3 machines, maybe 4 machines, I suppose, or maybe even 5. Yeah. Well, which, apart from the one I knew, the stuff for the macerator, that is not new. We've done it before. We're going to need one of those to process the uranium ore. I've got most of these things in, so I'm not going to worry too much about that now. Let me instead just lock that up and form an electronic circuit, which I've told the system. I'll run them. I'll have some cobble, which I've got 6K in the system. I did put a couple of works together just for cobble because I was using it so much that I was just fed up. And then just crushed obsidian, so I'm going to need another one of those obsidian. Yeah, I can just put this together pretty simply. We just need that electronic circuit, which should just take a little bit of time to craft. So yeah, let's go to the next machine while that's been done. Now this is still optional. You can just go onto a thermal centrifuge, but you can get more ingredients out if you put it through. If you look at the fuel, as it is, well, let me explain the process. We're going to take this uranium ore. It's safe to carry like this. With no problems because you wind it down there. I'm going to crush it in a macerator that gets crushed uranium ore. See? Safe. So you just stop crushing it, however, it becomes dangerous. So as soon as it goes into that macerator, you're going to need a protective suit, which we're going to do. It's very, very simple to build. What else dying out here? Oh well, magnetization is going to be useful. So, wow. They made it into pure surface quartz. Yeah, I'm going to keep those for later. Absolutely. I remember putting the pool there. Yes, so I crushed the uranium ore. We can put it through into the centrifuge straight away, or we can put it in the ore washing plant first. Ore washing plant is probably a good idea. You get more out of it in that way, so let's take a look at that recipe. Okay, so this one is stuff that we have seen before, apart from these, the electric motors, which are coils, which we have seen before, and titanium casings. I have taught you how to make the motors. So we're going to need another electronic circuit. Let's just make this up while we're here. That's right, sir. Of electronic circuits, and we need 2 motors. So we'll have 2 motors, electronic circuit, and what's the rest of the recipe? Machine casing, 2 buckets. And yes, I was so sick of it, I told you I had to make buckets. So, machine casing. I need one of those. I'll probably need one anyway, but I've all done in sequence. Oops. And 3 iron plates, which I've got 2 of, so let's just put those back. And plate. 1 of those. So they're going to come back in a very much time. That is something like that. We'll see what happens when we come back. Next is the thermal centrifuge. Basically something that spins things very fast. Thermal centrifuge. Power 48 EU per tick. Yeah. I'm going to get 100 EU per tick. So we'll need something to boot, basically to start this whole thing up. So we'll probably need to make a spare one of these to take down the link with the engineering to get these machines to start initially. So again, most of this is straightforward apart from the laser, and I'm laser before, which requires an iron turning blank, which requires a turning table. Okay, so I'm going to need more machines. A turning table. That requires iron casings. Those are the things I was trying to create, but I didn't have any of, so that's fine. So again, another machine casing. In fact, let me just load 2 of these because why not? And a couple of shafts, which I did build. Those I'll make manually off camera, and the rest is just iron plates. So yeah, turning table is fine. However, the turning table doesn't work just by powering it. It needs to have, if you hover over it, it says power 1000 KU, and KU is kind of like a kinetic unit, so alternative electric units, which means you need something called an electric kinetic generator. You didn't think this was going to be simple, did you? So the electric kinetic generator converts from EU into KU, so that is also fine. So we need iron atom casings, another motor, and an RE battery. So yeah, RE battery I've got. Motor, I will grab one of these because they're already made. So I'm going to read one of the first things I actually make. Shaft and 6 iron atom casings. So I'm going to take half of those and just throw them into the... I haven't got a machine up here anymore because I moved them all down into the crafting, so I'll just use this one. It is the rolling one, so I can use this manually. That's in use. Let me use this one manually. So yeah, what we're going to do is make this kinetic generator, stack on top of it, I think it's on top, what's it say? Stack on top of it the turning table, and we're going to make a blank, and that blank is used in lots of machines, and you can configure things, so I'm going to make a few other things too, including the lading tool. Lading tool. And that's one of the refined iron plates which comes from steel and in rolling mode. And another couple of item casings. So, yeah, fine. We'll get that sorted. This is already now. I didn't think I'd taught that system. No, that's problems. Bronze plate. What did I get inserted into there? Lead. I have no idea. Any of you guys see anything? If you do, let me know, because I don't. Oh, unless you get the value cost. That's me. You get 2 iron item casings for every one. That's fine. I need more of them anyway. So let's go and get these machines built, shall we? So working backwards, we've got the iron atom casings, electrokinetic generator, and what was on top of that was the turning table, wasn't it? Which most of what it asks for. That should have nearly all of it apart from the shaft. So I'll just load that up. That should be coming up. Why aren't you coming up? Yeah, I've never really done that. Okay, never mind. We'll go and do that. After I complete this recipe, I'm just going to want the block of steel in. Block of iron even, which I've got in my inventory, that's fine. Let's go and make that. And then I will go and craft the rest of this camera, I think. Extruding mode. Don't have enough space. I'm just not putting it on. It's just not taught the system how to do it. Fair enough. There we go. Left. And while I'm doing this, you guys have any thoughts? I'm going for the Reactor design from IC2 forums. It's called Mark 1 EB, I think, or something along those lines. Using a particular design tool to do that. So, let me know if you have any particular preferences. Again, like Tinker's tools, the whole system for doing this is very, well, it's certainly hotly argued, different designs and stuff like that. So, I don't have much of an issue. this needs to be in front or on top. Yeah. That's getting power. I don't know if that needs to be in front or... Well, thanks for giving me the... Thanks for... Oh no, no. Oh, I forgot to actually hit the machine with a dolly. So yeah, I've now got a basic machine casing back. Yes, I know. I need to make more shafts. Fine, I'll do that off camera. Do remember not to hit things with a pick when it's nice to. Yeah. Be right back. Alright, so I've sorted that one out now. Recrafted this. If I just take this off for a second and put it back on, I need to rotate this using a wrench, the electric and kinetic generator, so this circle is pointing upwards, and then this, all of that is on top. This just sits on top of it like this. When you do that, you're going to get an interface in here like this. I put a lathing tool in, that's just a refined iron plate and a couple of iron casings. You see I've created one already, but I need to create another one, so of this iron turning blank. So we put an iron turning blank into here, and that blank, again, just so you've got that recipe, is straightforward. Very, very straightforward indeed. And then we can use this interface to click on these to actually refine this into the actual shape that we want. In this case, I've put a couple of motors into this bottom section. I don't know just how many kinetic units this top one actually needs. Maybe it varies on the actual material used. Don't know, but I've put a couple of them to start off with, and that's how this is powered. You'll get 0 if you don't put any motors in. And then we can just say 4, 3, 2, 2, 2. And we're going to get this tiny pile of iron dust out of here as well, but more importantly, we're going to get these, and of course they don't stack. Why would they stack? You know, that would just make too much sense. Yes, I'm just going to drop those into this interface. We're also going to need the thermal centrifuge, and that's where we start to need the higher tier stuff. We need this mining laser, which needs an energy crystal, which I've just made. And it's going to need these advanced alloys, an iron turning blank, etc. So the advanced circuit we can order one of. It might take it a bit of time, but you know, we can still order it. And the tin plates have come back. I'm waiting for bronze plates at the moment, so that's something that I can't do just yet. With these advanced alloys, that's what I'm waiting for to make. Redstone, iron turning. So we've got most of this stuff, and then I can just put this crystal. This is, remember, 4 diamonds. You grind it in the macerator, mix it with 5 redstone in a cross pattern, in a crafting grid, and you get an energy crystal. So that's that. Laser drills used to be the way you used to go and do lots of fun mining before. People came out with hammers, which just which just went over the top. So yeah, a couple of coils, which we've got. And some more iron, which is fine. I've got plenty of, so I'll just drop that in place. And a motor and advanced machine casing. Motor we've got. Advanced machine casing I definitely don't. I'm going to have to make even more advanced alloy. So let's get to that, and I'll come right back. Alright, here we go. So let's make the... Whoops, wrong one. Let's make the laser drill. Well, the mining laser, I should say. Yes, we get laser time achievement. It's a rechargeable drilling implement, but we're going to need it to make the thermal centrifuge, which we're going to grab and go and throw that down in our nuclear center. And I'll restyle all the walls accordingly. Probably make them all this laboratory color. You'll see I've already made the macerator and ore washing plant now. This is going to go down next to it. And then I think it's a canning machine we need. Let's just have a look at the recipe. I want uranium. I want the single fuel rods. So in a canning machine, the fuel rod is just an iron plate in a metal former in extruding mode, so that's fine. Enriched uranium nuclear fuel is 3 tiny pile uranium It's 238 and 235, so that is thermal centrifuge. And this is also thermal centrifuge. So everything's thermal centrifuge, that's fine. We just need the canning machine now. What do we need for a canning machine? Hopefully this isn't a torturous recipe. You wouldn't expect so. Fluid, solid canning machine? Solid canning machine. Doesn't say either way. Tin can. The recipe for tin can is just a tin item casing. Okay, so that should be a relatively simple recipe. Let's just quickly make that. Here we go. So, how much extra is it for one of those? Fluid, solid canning machine, solid canning machine. Why are there two different, both of which can handle it? They both look different. Well, let's give this a go, and uranium is a solid after all, but, you know, we'll see on that one. 2 electronic circuits, basic canning machine, and I'm going to need some tin item casings, which I've probably got. So, electronic circuits, 2 of. I do have a couple of these, well, a few of these, so that's fine. And while you're at it, give me a machine casing. Just 1 of, and now we'll go and... do I have a metal former up here still? No, I don't think I do. Extruding mode. Let's go and throw that in. Do be very careful, by the way. I did notice I had a machine in here, the compressor, and crazy things happen, and these try to auto-insert sideways in the machines when they're set up like this, so I just removed it for now. There was only one recipe I needed it for, which is the refined iron plates, and I can make those manually in the interim. So I may have to separate these two after the episode as well. They're both metal formers. So yeah, I'm not too... In fact, I'm probably going to need a few cans, aren't I? So let's put 6 in and let's see what it comes up with. So we've got the canning machine. We're also going to need the actual nuclear reactor itself. So the nuclear reactor. Okay, advanced circuit, which we can make. Generator, which we've already got a spare one of. Dense lead plate, which is probably just 9 lead plates. So that's, yeah, 36 lead. So that should be fine. Reactor chamber. So what did I say, 36, so that's 12 more, so 48 lead, and 3 machine casings. So again, all quite straightforward. What I'm not going to need, at least initially, is the nuclear chamber, which is the expansion for the nuclear reactor, I think. I think it's called a chamber. Yeah, these strap onto the sides of it, so it's used in the reactor recipe, actually. I didn't notice that. Nuclear reactor. These, you can actually strap them to the sides to increase the size of your reactor and hence the power of your reactor, but we're not going to play with fire just yet. That's going to be coming up soon. So yeah, what else do we want? So we've got a basic machine casing. What else did it? I was just electronic circuits, wasn't it? So we're just waiting now for electronic circuits. Yeah, so yeah, come back shortly. Actually, in fact, while I'm waiting for that, let's briefly do the clothing, because if you don't do this, you're going to die horribly. And I'm not kidding. Armor stand. I want 3 stone slabs and 2 iron. Fine, stone slabs. I'll have 3, please. I've already got a couple of iron, so that's fine. And there we are. That's an armor stand. So bibliocraft thing. And then we're going to need the IC2 scuba stuff, if I remember rightly. At least the helmet is just rubber iron bars. We're going to need lots of orange dye, so let's just order some orange dye. Thankfully, I live in a tulip field, so this one is not much of a problem. And similarly, let's get some iron bars. Just a couple of those and some glass. Not being too accurate here, but I don't really have to. Something like, what was it? Something like this? With, no? Am I misremembering that? Oh, it's glass. Okay. Okay, so the helmet, and then there is 3 others, and I can never remember the name of it. So, at industrial. but you can see it very clearly on any eye because there they are. So hazmat, that's the one. Hazmat suit, hazmat boots, leggings. So that's all pretty. Whoops, where's my hazmat suit gone? Yeah, so 2 orange dye there, 1 orange dye there, and a piece of wool, which I should have. And I don't. Do I not have any wool? Really? I have 1 wool. That will do for this. So let's just get rid of this for a second. What's the recipe for the boots? Oh, okay. Boots. Helmet. We want 2 orange dye for the chest piece and 1 orange dye for the leggings. I'm also going to get redstone, 9 of it. You could use a lever for this, but I'm lazy. And you'll see what I'm going to do shortly, hopefully. Give me the redstone, please. You're not going to give me the redstone, are you? Oh, there it is. Okay. Redstone block, and let's go and equip this while those circuits are still probably building in the background. So, if I put this down in here, put the redstone block down, that's just going to give this a redstone signal, which is what I want. Put the armor stand down, and now if I click the armor stand, I should be able to put the scuba, the hazmat suit, and rubber boots. But more importantly, if I shift right click, I should be able to change all my clothes at once to the hazmat, and shift right click all back onto the stand. Cool. So now we just want the rest of our components. And a power source, really, so we'll do that all off camera. I'll come back once I'm finished. I'm going to need an energy source out there, and for that I'm going to make an upgraded version of our energy cells, the redstone energy cells. So to do that, you just need to make a circle with electrum and hardened glass with a diamond in the middle. Fill that with 40 redstone through the magma crucible, and then you need to add all of these other things together. So this is just creating a double layer capacitor. This is energetic alloy, which is gold, redstone, and glowstone in the alloy smelter. And this is just a blazing electron tube, which, if we look at this one, is this pattern in thermionic fabricated just with some blaze powder and the same thing, all the same kind of stuff you've seen before, but it makes a double layer capacitor, which is what we want. And I need to put that there, and then an advanced circuit into diamantine. Diamantine I've just made, so get those. And then just an advanced circuit. Will you have made one for me yet? Of course not. Give me one, please. And we just need to wait for that. That will charge up. And I'm going to connect it across with MV wire connectors and MV wire coils to the other machines down there. And I may have to rob this MFE temporarily. I don't have enough diamonds for it. Or I guess I can make a bat box. It doesn't have to be anything major because most of the power is coming from everything else. And so yeah, I'm not quite certain yet, but I will go and make one of the two and come back to you. Okay, I think I've got most of the pieces now. This is really at the end of the episode, so just want to actually get everything going, really. And then the actual turn on the reactor is probably going to be next episode. Oops, I've got to block out that. There we go. Turn on the reactor is going to be next episode because there's a particular design that you need to actually get sorted inside there. I'm just going to set up the fuel kind of side of things this episode. I'll get it working, hopefully on camera. So hopefully that, yeah, it does need, well, I'm hoping it needs water. We're going to find out soon enough. Yeah, we can fill that back in now. Just with some of you. Yeah, that's the wrong kind. Wrong kind. It's the wall. There we go. So it does seem that these connectors go straight onto the actual insulated gold cable in this case, because there's 512 EU per tick, just in case these need more power. So hopefully now all I need to do is actually hook that up to the power source, the redstone energy cell. And this is where, in fact, let me just dump a few more things here first. I'm going to put his chest in here because I'm probably going to need it. Let's put it there for now. And I'm going to put some uranium ore in there. And my connectors, I'm going to keep on me. Yeah, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, let's go and see if this thing has charged up a little bit. I'm going to try and use it. The only problem is that the power systems I've got going right now, they aren't all that powerful. So it still looks dead, but it's actually got 270,000 RF in it. This redstone energy cell does actually store an awful lot of charge. So once the reactor's open for business, we can probably tie this back in to recharge this thing up to full, which will be kind of cool because it has a maximum output of 1,000 RF per tick, so I could use it around the base. I will also be hooking this power system up to the rest of the base. I would kind of like to do that with tesseracts rather than try to run a lot of cable, because cable tends to have loss, particularly the immersive engineering kind. So just bear that one in mind. So let's give this a go. How do I want to rig this? So I'm going to change the bottom to be an output side. And where's my connectors? Whoops. And my Y coil. Hook up to you to you. And will that now mean you're powered? Doesn't look like it. Just wondering whether I actually still need some kind of bat box or something like that. That is definitely outputting. In fact, no, there's more, you can output more than this. Oh yeah. Much more than 1,000 hours per tick. So yeah, the bottom is outputting, but it looks like I'm going to need a bat box of some kind. So I could rob the one from my processing machines. Just temporarily. And let's see, one of the bat box might be limited by EU per tick, but this is going to make all machines die though. Oh, what the hell? Where's my bat box? Bat box gone? Does it get destroyed if you... Really? I really hope not. Oh no, there it is. Yeah. So, let's just put this back in place. And I'm probably just going to have to move a couple of these blocks out just so I can rotate this thing. Hello. They're an awful lot quieter now. There we go. Right. Bat box in place, hopefully. I probably want it there. Then use the wrench to rotate it this way. Put the cable back in place. Is the bat box limited? I wonder. Yeah, can only output 32 EU per tick, so some of these machines won't work, but that's fine. I'll cover it in the next episode. Just upgrade this for now. I just want to get at least the starting machines to actually work. And just connect you to you. And will you now work? Will you send power this way? Yep, power's coming through, which is just what we want. And now this is the point where you definitely want to do this. So, go and get yourself a piece of uranium. Put it in the macerator. And now things start to get dangerous. So before this has been completely safe, now it's not. And just to give you a look inside the nuclear reactor, we're going to design and build the components needed for this separate section. The reason why it's floating like this is because I said that you can put chambers on it. So you can theoretically put basically 6 chambers on it, but then you may have to get the power out somehow. So I'll have to figure that one out next episode. And here's the crushed uranium ore. Now, at this point, I would be having problems. But, yeah, let's just get the crushed uranium ore. The problems I'll be having, of course, is the radiation. So do bear that in mind. Thermal centrifuge, I can just use that on its own. Or ore washing plant requires water. But it probably requires power. That may be why. So ore washing plant. 16, no, that should be enough. In fact, oh, it is working. There we go. So purified crushed uranium, tiny pile of lead dust and stone dust. Stone dust is used in other things, in fact. This is one of the things for binder composite, which is Ender.io. So this opens up Ender.io just by itself. And this is, I think, the only way to get stone dust in the damn game. So getting this set up actually gets us through the Ender.io block for Ender.io conduits. So I'm quite pleased by that. So we then take the purified crushed and put it into the centrifuge. But I don't think I have enough power for this stage. That's the one that's going to let me down. So between the episodes, I'll figure out what I need to do. Just bear in mind that it's uranium safe when it's in inventories like this, but it's outside of inventories, or if you need the reactor itself when it's on, yeah, you're going to want the clothing. So just bear that in mind. And I wonder if well, I'm going to be safe anyway now, so that's fine. And I'll just put this stuff back. So I hope you've liked this episode. I know it's been fairly long. It's another long one of 45 minutes or so. Next episode is going to be much shorter because it's going to be switching this on and designing it. So we're going to get some components sorted out there. And everything should be pretty straightforward from that point on. How fast is this draining? Oh, that's empty completely. So bootstrapping this thing is going to be a bit of a challenge, it looks like, but a challenge that we should be able to get done, I think. Anyway, what do you guys think? Feel free to leave comments. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, but leave the comments and let me know why, and also your thoughts, your design thoughts. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Next episode, switching it on. Thanks for watching.